1. Hey, everybody, welcome to the first ever bonus stuff of 2025. Happy New Year. We hope you had a good holiday. So, for the first episode of 2025, we're going to look back to all of 2024. And we have our lists of the best stuff of 2024. So, originally, we usually do like our favorite movies and our favorite TV. But I told Jonah, I was like, Jonah, there's no way I'm going to get 10 movies this year. So Jonah was like, no, I can do this. Jonah has 10.
I'm not going to cop out. I'm going to give the list.
He's got the 10 best movies of 2024. So I want to start with Jonah and see what he's got for us. And we can all agree or disagree.
There were 10?
The whole list, or we're doing one at a time?
Yeah.
Because we do
for Jonah, we're gonna do Jonah's first.
Dang, Jonah.
And then
I was about to say, if we do all 10, our voices will be gone.
Yeah,
I know.
But since Jonah is the only one not sick,
dang,
he can start us.
Sonic 3 better be on number 1, or you just, I don't know.
So you're gonna start with number 10 for us, Jonah?
Yeah, sure. So number 10, I did have the Fall Guy as a film. I don't usually have like very like comedic, like this level of comedic on like top 10 lists or anything, but I think this one was very good. I like how it kind of gives a movie to like stunt people and it really like appreciates them. And like I said, Ryan Gosling's way better at comedy than he is like drama. So, and he's like very funny in this movie. It's very well shot, had good action. It's very good. Number 9.
Oh wait, before you go there, we did review Fall Guy for the thing. I think we all kind of liked it, but Jared actually didn't. He got to see it for the first time.
Oh,
yeah.
During the break. So, what did you think of it, Jared?
I liked it. I don't know if a lot of the humor hit with me. A lot of it was funny, but some jokes I was just like, why didn't
they kind of throw so much at you, just hoping one sticks.
Yeah,
but when it is funny, it is.
Yeah. But I did like the combination of action and comedy, and I always, like Jonah said, Gosling as comedy is way better than him serious.
We still got to watch those guys.
It looks like he's having fun with comedy.
Yeah.
He looks miserable in drama.
I think my favorite gag in there, though, was when he's talking to Aaron Taylor Johnson's like, you need carbs.
Yeah.
Your brain runs on glucose. You're not thinking clearly.
Yeah, so we'll try to comment on your picks, Jonah. So
Okay.
Go ahead.
Number 9 was Alien Romulus. I know some people have like disagreements about the ending. I like the ending. Yep. I like the ending.
We know.
Like that ending, Jonah. You like that ending. Joseph's wrong.
I just like that it was a very like fun horror movie. Like horror is never fun anymore, and it always wants to be like very serious and have like real issues. But this one just kind of like appreciated like the genre and just kind of had fun with it. And it was kind of just like a chase movie around a spaceship. And the atmosphere, like Jared said, is incredible. I love like the old like 80s tech and everything. It was very good. It was just one of the most like enjoyable times I had at the theater this year. So, does anyone have any thoughts?
Good answer.
I was about to say I went through a list of the best movies of the year, a list of the best, best everything that we were going to do. Didn't even see that. Forgot it came out this year. That probably would have been on my list. It's not on my list because I didn't remember about it. But yeah, great movie. Great movie.
Are you looking forward to the show?
Alien Earth.
Nothing about it.
I just have to see more of it because I don't know what they're doing with it.
And doesn't it take place like after? I don't know. It takes place in a weird time.
The timeline's all screwy.
Isn't it like before all of them?
Yeah, before all of them. So aliens made it to Earth before.
Well,
we
they
saw
do.
them.
The company found out about the aliens somehow. So
It's just it's another sequel to Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it looks like so far.
I'm excited for that new Predator.
I'm fine. I'd be fine with that. And yes, the new Predator.
Okay. Number 8 was Inside Out 2. It's
Surprisingly great.
Yeah, for Disney Pixar sequel, it's better than we've gotten for like decades. This is gonna sound like weird, but it's almost like they wrote like the first movie so good that like the second one they're not really even trying. It feels like, but like obviously there was a ton of effort into it, but it just feels like they just have it like this formula and like these characters down so much that it feels like a lot simpler and it's a lot moves like a lot faster.
They've got their They've got their outline. Like, all right, do this again.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel cheap either. It just feels like they're having a good time with it, and the animation is even better this time, I think. But yeah, it's very simple, but it's funny. It's moving. It's a good movie.
I have something to say. When we talked about this on the podcast, I kind of just ponied on and said I enjoyed it too. Thinking about it and like going on, I don't think I like this movie.
Oh no!
I don't hate it, but I don't remember it, and I don't think it needed to be made.
You hate
To be
children.
honest,
I can definitely see people not liking it. Like it's not a universal thing. But
I think it was the hype thing too. It made like $1 billion, so I was like, "Oh man, this is gonna be funny as heck."
It was in theaters forever.
Is it the highest grossing movie
I think it still is.
No.
of this year?
Last year.
I like how it takes place all in like a summer camp.
Yeah.
That's not like a
Spoilers.
big. Oh, okay.
Kidding,
I
I'm kidding.
spoiled summer camp for you. So, because I going into it, I was afraid, oh no, we're gonna deal with her going through puberty the whole time, and
Turning red again.
but no, it just
Yeah.
goes through one issue she's going through. But no Bing Bong. That's the only.
He's
Sad
dead.
what happened to him.
Okay. Number 7 was the most recent I saw. I saw it the other night. It's Complete Unknown, which is the Bob Dylan biopic that just came out.
I really want to see that.
It's really good.
I think it's funny though. They have the same guy that directed Walk the Line.
Yeah, and they don't have what's his name.
They don't have Joaquin Phoenix.
Well,
It's like,
he's
that
old now.
sucks. Well, I know, but Johnny Cash never looked young. So-
That's true.
I mean, I thought that would be a really cool opportunity for him to come back for that, but I guess
To
not.
be fair, this guy actually does a really good job as him.
I've
As
heard the
Johnny
soundtrack.
Cash?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he like sounds and looks exactly like him. I like how this movie, we've all seen like musical biopics, there's a ton of them, but I like how this one has, it kind of has like what you expect from it and like the background, and it focuses a lot on like just the characters and their interactions. It's actually it takes its time, like it's a very slow paced movie, which is surprising. Like scenes last a very long time in this film. But it's kind of like just one of those movies, kind of like I hear people describe them as like hangout movies, kind of, because it just like likes being in this time period and like in this culture of like the folk and rock music back then. And
Beats.
Timothy Chalamet does a really good job as Dylan. It's a little weird at first, but you get used to it as the movie goes on, like the accent. But yeah, it's a very beautifully shot movie and just a very like fun time.
Does
You'll
this
see it.
make you excited for the Bruce Springsteen movie?
I was gonna be bored out of my mind.
Who's doing that?
I don't know who's doing it, but the guy from the Bears,
Yeah,
Bruce
Bruce.
Springsteen.
Hey, Jared, you like Blinded by the Light, so come on.
It's a good movie.
This is a good movie.
That is a great movie.
yeah.
But it wasn't about him. It was about a young man.
It is about a man who goes to America, and if someone wants to come see the boss, I don't think there's a better reason to.
It's a beautiful story about a man and his dad. And I was like all choked up.
All right.
Number 6 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which was one of the biggest surprises for me.
Forgot about that too.
Come on. That would have been on my list.
I forgot about that too. Sorry.
Surprisingly
You didn't
good
look at
ape movie.
Letterboxd? They're all like at the top.
I
my-
should have. I literally just Googled best movies of the year because I was at work and I was doing it literally this afternoon because I procrastinated and didn't do it over the 3 weeks we didn't have a podcast. That totally would have been on my list too. Darn it.
My favorite thing about what you said, Jonah, is like that was a surprise. I'm like,
Yeah,
that is exactly what I would
Mhm.
say. Like, I had no expectations going into that movie.
yeah.
I walked out. I was like, shit, that was pretty good.
You go in thinking like, I know what this is going to be. This is like another of these movies, but it's like something else entirely.
Yeah.
Like this, it feels like the director like really loves like just like showing this world and kind of like building it up and like these characters and everything. I like that it focuses more just on the apes now that there's like not as much humans that can actually like flesh them out and not have to deal with like the other like human characters. But this is like one of the most like classically like blockbusters of the year. Just kind of like sit back with like popcorn and everything. And um, but yeah, that's a big surprise, and I really like that one.
We actually got
100%.
Jackson to go with us.
I was gonna say, like Jonah was saying, it was a surprise. Jackson was throwing a fit before
I
we went to go
forgot
see
about
it.
that.
Uh-huh.
And then
We're gonna go
after
see a
it, he's like,
monkey movie.
I'm gonna go recommend it to everyone at work.
I know.
And then he went to go see Better Man, and now he feels differently.
Okay. Number 5 is Furiosa, a Mad Max story. I know a lot of you didn't like this movie because I don't know why. Um, as someone like the only person on earth that wasn't impressed by Fury Road, I like this approach better, like this slower, more like personal, like story kind of. It's basically it's just a revenge film, kind of like a classic. Just has a very like pulpy, like kind of like exploitative kind of feel to it. Like it's very like old fashioned kind of, and I like how the action is more like. I didn't like the choppiness of like Fury Road, how it's like edited so fast. I like this more smooth, like very like paced out like version of it. And I really like the end of this movie also. Just like the ending and like some of the shots in it are very like painting inspired, and I don't know. I thought it was really cool.
I think it's funny that you don't like the editing in Fury Road. That's the only Oscar it won.
I didn't see this movie, but did it have dudes dangling off cars with guitars shooting?
It did
off
have the
fire?
guitar guy.
Oh, okay. Then I'm fine with what you said.
Yeah, this is one I'm gonna rewatch. I say that, but I'm a person that doesn't rewatch movies. That's why I say that in that sense. But like, because there's so many people that love this movie, and I came out of this so disappointed because
Yeah.
like Fury Road is like easily probably top 10 for me of all time. Like that movie's so good. It's just bombastic. It's ridiculous. And I think also the fact of how heavily this changed to not practical that affected so much of it. And just like
But it feels like it's on purpose.
100% is. I like that style. Like Fury Road feels like Lord of the Rings to me. It feels like there's so much intention put into the like choreography of everything that's happening. Like I just always have that picture in my mind of whenever freaking Mad Max is bouncing back and forth on that pole, and there's so much crap happening behind him. I'm like, how did you choreography all like you get all this to work together at the same time? There's fire blowing up. There's people swinging around. People jump back and forth. He's just doing this with the camera. And it's like that shot blows my mind. But that whole movie, but Furiosa is one I do want to rewatch with the more mindset of it isn't going to be Fury Road, and I feel like I'll like it more for sure. But
That's why I like is it didn't feel like it was trying to be Fury Road. It wanted to be something different, and I thought it did a good job at that.
Yeah, he doesn't rewatch movies, but Rebel Moon.
I will. You forced me to watch this.
Of the year.
You forced me to watch that. I will. God. Oh.
Michael pulls out a gun, like, say it again. Say it again.
How dare you?
I blame that movie for making me forget that there were actually good movies this year.
Yeah,
I think that movie like tainted all of.
Dude,
Oh my God.
God, they're horrible.
It was a rough year.
I didn't see
That was a
that.
rough night, is what it was.
I didn't watch that, and I had fun this year.
Jonah did the right thing.
Untainted.
Unclean. Unclean.
Okay, number 4, we literally just talked about Nosferatu. So go watch that if you want to know my thoughts. Just basically, it's a very atmospheric movie. Everybody does a great job. It looks gorgeous. And yeah, it's a very classic horror story. So
Yeah, we just reviewed
just
that.
all talked about this.
So go look for it.
Okay, number 3 is the weird one. technically came out in Japan last year, but I saw it in theaters this year. Spy X Family Cold White.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
This
What
is one
a
of the
delight.
most enjoyable films in like a long time. And you could argue it's like just a long episode of the show, but it goes so much like beyond just like an episode. It actually feels like the action, like the animation, like actually got like a boost from like the film budget, and it's just one of the most it's just so like delightful, and these characters are so like charming that you just want to keep coming back to it.
Great movie.
Never seen.
Could use some more
I've
of
seen,
that
I think I've seen
Spy
one
Family.
episode of that show, but I've never. I need to watch it.
You need
If you like charm, you will like
Yeah.
it.
I feel like charisma and delight.
If you're feeling poorly, Michael, and I have a feeling you will be at some point,
Wow.
right now,
Watch that.
like curl up with the blanket with some like hot soup and just watch that. Just saying,
Mhm.
it'll make you feel better.
It's a good like rainy day show. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, number 2 is The Bike Riders. Like I was saying with A Complete Unknown, this is very much
Literally, Rebel Moon wiped all this from my mind. That was this year.
that movie damaged you. Yes.
That movie was amazing. Oh my god. Okay, I got to do like
Go rewrite
Edit.
while I'm talking.
a broken. Anyways, I'm sorry.
It's like the 4th time you've done.
Literally, that's the third movie.
Like, yeah,
Alien.
Alien
Aliens
Planet-
and Planet of the
Planets
Apes
and this.
and
Dude, I
this-
forgot those existed. Great movies.
Dude,
And
this,
Furioso.
I guess that movie, Rebel Moon, just killed
It
our
killed
brain
me.
cells.
I literally,
You
that's
guys
all I
need-
thought. You were
you
like
guys need to
movies. I
not
was
watch
like,
Zack Snyder.
yeah, right.
My
They're no
favorite
good movies.
movie of this year came out in 1984.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was this year.
that combined with Rings of Power must have really did
Oh
a
my
number on
God.
Michael.
I
Jeez,
know.
that's not. Oh God, that's coming back.
Don't watch it.
We don't
Oh.
want to.
We'll watch it.
Okay. Like I was saying with A Complete Unknown, this is very much a movie that just loves this like era and this decade, and it just loves being in it. Even for someone like me that's not into like biker like culture as much, it tells you like totally like you understand like why people do like this and like why he started it in the first place. And I think like that character like I liked the most when it was like Tom Hardy because of his whole like story of like starting this thing and just how it just all went wrong. But yeah, this is one of the best like just directed and acted films of the year, and I really love this one.
What great characters, and like I seriously debated buying a bike after this movie. I was like, man,
I
that
did
looks
too.
fun.
Just so he could
I-
punch people.
I looked at prices for Indian bikes, Jared. $10,000. That's it.
Yeah.
I like Indian.
I do
Great
too.
gas
Or
mileage.
for that.
We got a group already. Let's hit the road.
Vroom, vroom.
This is us now.
We'll meet Norman Reedus out there.
We'll
Probably
fight
would.
anyone about Rebel Moon. Moving on.
Who would stand for that movie?
We're called the Rebel Moons.
The Scar Givers.
We're called
The Scar gift.
God. No, Bike Riders is a incredible film. No more Rebel Moon talk. It's gone. Bike Riders, I can't believe I forgot that great movie.
Okay,
Unbelievably
Jonah.
surprising.
Your number one movie of the year is.
It's not surprising at all. It's Dune 2.
I remembered this one.
Yes, I do
Good.
remember this.
For just all the reasons you expect, it's probably the closest I can think of to like a Lord of the Rings like size movie since Lord of the Rings. It's just the world is just so like built up, and just like even from the books, is the characters like are expanded even more from them, and like I love Denis Villeneuve's style. I love all his movies, so just continues all of what you love from the first movie, and it's an incredible film.
Dude, when Paul's walking like full Emperor mode, like,
Yeah.
looking like a Sith Lord, I was like, dang, that's pretty cool.
All right, so those were the top 10 movies of the year that Michael forgot about.
It's so hard, guys.
I genuinely did not. I genuinely was like I scrolled through a list and I was like, yeah, there's nothing. This movie year was trash. It's like,
Well, it
I can't
was.
believe it
It
was
was.
trash, but like those were some excellent movies. Totally.
Jonah
forgot
picked
about
out the only 10 that were probably pretty good.
Yeah.
That's something I could have put. But
it. I didn't see Inside Out 2, so I still need to watch that.
And yeah, anything not on his list that you guys would think of for you?
I want to watch Wild Robot. I haven't seen that either.
Yeah,
People love that.
Everyone says it's great. It looks great too.
I will say I did heavily enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine just for
yeah, that
That's
barely
great.
just
missed
for
the list.
just for the
Those
fun of
jokes.
it.
Yeah.
Like I watched it with my dad, and we were both like cracking the hell up because it's a really funny movie.
I don't know if this, because I know this came out in August last year in Japan or overseas. I don't know if it was a movie called Dee Dee. It was a kind of, I don't know if it was
yeah.
I
indie or
think that was
not,
this
but
year.
It can't. Yeah, so that was another one. I didn't know if it, because I think it did release elsewhere last August, and this year it came out. Where is when I watched it. Great movie, absolutely great movie.
I'll say the Interstellar re-release. Does that count?
Sure.
The IMAX release. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the top 10 stuff of the year, and I'm gonna start it, and then I'm gonna just circle around to you guys.
So what does your circle look like?
Yeah, what's
My
your
circle
like?
looks like Jared, Thomas, then Michael, and then back to me. So my number 10, I don't really have an order for these, but this one is definitely got to be first. It's got to be the internet sensation, Mudang, the pygmy hippo, that makes everyone happy. It brings smiles to everyone who saw it on Instagram.
Your list is
And
going to be bonkers, dude.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
yeah. Has
There you go, Joe.
anything united the world as much as Mudang? I would have a hard time arguing that. So, Mudang, number 10, or my number 10, I guess. Jared, what's on your list?
She's just a greasy little pig. That's all she is.
Just a hippo.
Like Joseph, mine's probably just gonna be stuff. Not all movies. Number 10 is Liquid Death. Ever since I started drinking Liquid Death, I can't. Even when I'm poor and can't afford it, I still buy Liquid Death. So there you go.
Really big, bro.
I'm
Drinking
thinking
Liquid
like
Death.
games, music shows,
Yeah.
movies, created stuff. Had a pretzel. Best pretzel I've ever had in my life. Dipped in some cheese. We're just,
What was the
we're just
best meal
Luke
you had
Foods
this
now, man. Oh my god.
All right, Thomas, what do you got for us?
Well, they have this thing called a Costco hot dog.
No,
And so-
no.
Neil?
No, I'm going with a show. Shogun was this year, and not disappointed really at all. It won quite a few awards this Golden Globes, which I was happy. As a big fan of the book, it was fun to see. So that's my number 10. Not as memeable as Mudang or Liquid Death, but here we are.
Good lord. I know nothing
Right,
about that. Anyway, yeah.
You know nothing about Muding?
Me and Michael are just about to run.
This is ridiculous. I do want to reiterate one more time the movies Jonah mentioned would have been on my list, but we'll ignore that because my brain broke. I think I only have 2
Yeah.
movies on here.
Kind of wondering what you put on there.
I went for just movies, games, and music.
Music.
Coward.
And they're like semi in an order. It's like it's hard to like compare and contrast things like
Yeah.
that. But I just kind of went with enjoyment here.
So pretty much what the channel is about.
Yeah, it's
Michael
just-
did the homework.
But number 10 for me was the Penguin, Colin Farrell, and what's her face? I never remember. her
Christine
name.
Minucci.
Christine something. Anyway, she's doing a great job. It was just such a pleasant surprise, and I have to, every time I bring up Colin, I have to apologize for not liking Colin Farrell back in the day, thinking that the bad movies that I'd seen were his prowess, and I was like, no, he's so amazing, and he's so great in this. It's just one of those like a lot of movies we talked about already, like just a surprise of how good this was, because I wasn't the biggest fan. I liked the Batman, but it wasn't having that much expectations from this, but it hit really well, and it wasn't too long. Did what it needed to do and got out of there. So I appreciate it. Good job, Penguin.
So I have the Penguin on my list too for the best series, so I'll throw that in there. It just came out of nowhere, man. We're just like sitting there
needed
wondering
it,
what
too.
we're gonna do. Yeah, we like came off of Rings of Power, just totally devastated, and then we see this weird show about Colin Farrell, even though you can't tell it's him, and it's just this guy that limping around, and we loved it. It was a great show, and I thought the ending was perfect. It didn't like do too safe. It did what it had to do. So, Jared, what's your next top stuff?
this is more of like an experience again. The whole Empresa Shadows meltdown. It was. I don't think I've seen someone melt down like that. Like someone that was so like that I watched regularly. So it was kind of an event. And then it got us a lot of views on one of our videos, but it was a crazy experience. I just I don't know, it was crazy. So yeah, I think it was fun.
A little bit of
Thomas?
chaos, good for the soul.
So Space Marine 2 came out, and I'm not gonna lie, this was a lot of like hopeful. A lot of hopes were riding on this because the first game was so fun, and there's a lot of expectations. Was it going to be good? Was it going to be faithful to the lore? And it was everything I wanted. It was so awesome. So, and I don't play like a ton of games. So when I actually bought a game, I was like, well, I made an investment, so I got to play this through. And so it's a lot of fun.
I still really want to play that.
Yeah, my gaming year was probably sadder than my movie year. Though, but-
Honestly, yeah. Like I didn't play hardly anything this
Just
year.
wasn't in the
Yeah.
mood to.
yeah.
I wasn't either.
All right,
Is it me?
Michael.
Oh, it is me.
Back to you.
So number 9 starts the first album of the year. This was early on, I think February or January. Dead Poet Society, their album Fission came out. Just freaking fantastic. This is a band I found last year. Fell in love with their music and their sound and all. Like literally, I don't think they have a bad song. And then this album comes out and it's just a banger after banger. Love it. So good. So good. I love when a good album comes out and you just can't put it down. Wonderful. So
All right, so back to me. Another internet thing that had people addicted, including myself and a lot of people in our chat, was the Pokemon trading
that's a
card
good one.
game Pocket app. So that has just been all over our chat.
The bane of my existence.
Every time we get a new Pokemon card, we just throw it up there for Thomas to consume it, and he's loving it. So
Look at him. He's so happy.
it's been a lot of fun.
It has been
Um,
fun. I can't believe Ben got there first. I had
Ben,
I
was
know.
like- I was
what
like
a
5 ahead of everyone, and then like right now, everyone, you guys all have like 20s for the main first set.
Mhm.
I've had 14 for like a week. I'm like, if they catch up to me again, I'm gonna lose my mind because I abandoned whenever Ben got the Mew one. I was like, I abandoned it. I was like, go back.
And here we are,
Gonna
still
beat
talking
them.
about it.
It's so much fun. It's so easy.
It's addicting.
It's just easy to do. You open a pack and boom, you have a little enjoyment. Get a little animation. Battle some
It wasn't-
AI people.
Wasn't compatible with my phone, so I'm in the same
Aw,
spot.
dang, that sucks.
Oh, no.
I don't even care if it's compatible. I don't care.
I ain't touching that crap.
Like our Friendsgiving chat became the Pokemon chat for
Yeah.
a week, and then it moved to the game chat. And I'm just like, it's still
It's
just
spreading.
Pokemon. I was like,
I'm gonna start
please.
posting them in every single chat we have.
Oh God,
Just
The music
to every
chat?
single person.
make it stop!
Individual
Love of
messages.
God.
We'll
All
schedule
right,
them for
Jerry.
you.
What do you got for us?
Number 8 was the whole Tyson Paul fight. There was a lot of fun, like leading up to it, like believing that this world was just and that Tyson killed Paul. But of course, we live in this world, and that didn't quite happen. But it was a fun event, especially viewing it with Thomas and Michael. And we eventually had to watch it on our phone because like Netflix was having some
The most
troubles.
Netflix thing ever.
They did host like the good lord, can't talk, Thanksgiving football game.
yeah,
And
and it worked.
It worked.
It worked.
I was getting
I
ready to go with
didn't
my
really
family. So I turned it on. I was like, huh.
I didn't really care for their announcer team. It was just CBS, but
Yeah.
I was
worked.
expecting Mike's to go out, but it was
Yeah.
it went.
Also heard the Beyonce show was not very good,
Mm.
so
I didn't watch
I
it.
feel like,
I don't either. But
do people still go crazy for Beyonce?
yeah,
She did a country album.
But she is tied to Jay-Z and the Diddy
all that
stuff, so-
yeah.
Mhm.
That's no bueno.
what are we on, Jared? Number 7?
8.
Yeah,
You did 8, right?
yeah.
I think
Oh,
we
yeah,
did
just
it,
did
yeah.
it.
Oh, you just did it.
So it's
Okay.
Thomas's 8 now.
my turn.
Mhm.
Yeah, mine is Alien Romulus. Like Jonah was saying, it's cool to see this style of movie again, and I love the Alien franchise like to death, and the fact that it kind of went back to its roots and As much as I love Ridley Scott, dude, just stop. Just stop. Stop it. Because you keep trying to add to it. You're not doing anything with it. So just stop it. So, but yes, it's a fantastic movie. Probably going to watch it again fairly soon. It's on Hulu now, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to. Yeah. So yeah, that was a good one.
Very good one. So
Michael.
my number 8 will probably surprise most people, and I do have explanations, but it's Dragon's Dogma 2. Not as high as if you had heard me before raving about Dragon's Dogma 2. And
We had a countdown.
Wait, are we talking about the DRC? Or not the the DLC?
No, not Elden Ring. Dragon's Dogma, Joseph. Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, okay.
The game I went bananas about.
Maybe you are too sick to record.
This hit, like we said earlier, like this just wasn't a year of gaming for me. I just hadn't been in a mood until recently to play games at all, and it kind of hit when this game came out, and like I was enjoying the game a lot, but it just kind of hit a point where I'm like, I'm just done. I don't want to play games. I'm not in the mood for it now. I don't have the patience. I did technically beat it. I got to like the credits, but then there's the post world stuff that I didn't complete, and it is like it's the same with Dragon's Dogma 1, where it is a game you digest over multiple times because it is a game that tells you nothing, gives you nothing to actually experience the entire thing. It took me probably 7 times of playing Dragon's Dogma 1 to actually experience everything. And that's following a guide on the 7th one. I will say I was a little, because what I wanted, obviously I wanted more from like the combat and stuff of Dragon's Dogma, which I 100% got, and the world is incredibly beautiful and the enemies are so well, like that combat system is so good, but I wanted them, because a big thing for Dragon's Dogma 1 is I like that kind of like, it's a very anime story, but it engages you, keeps you going, and 2 doesn't really have a in your face story at all. Like, and I think that's one thing that was missing for me for it was I was like, I don't really get or care what's going on. Like I got to like the beginning ending or the easy ending where you can end the game and do a new game plus without doing like the hard post-game stuff. And I was like, I have no idea what just happened or care. So it'll be interesting to go back to it eventually. But yeah, so it is much lower than I wanted it to be on my list, but hopefully whenever I'm back in that mood, it will jump up for me. But yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2.
All right, so next, I'm going to go with my favorite movie of the year, which was Dune 2, like Jonah had. It's pretty sad because that's like one of the first movies we reviewed, right?
It's February.
It's February, so.
Well, it was supposed to come out in 2023, but
Yeah.
guess what?
So yeah, sci-fi epic. I love sci-fi epic. Hopefully that one game is good. It's a sci-fi epic. So, Jerry, go ahead.
I don't want to bring it back up, but Pokemon.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, let's open some packs.
I feel I'm in the whole like the memes where like I get garbage every day, and I see people getting these packs with like art, beautiful cards, and I get Ponyta for the 80th time, and I'm just like, I hate you people.
Oh,
I see Michael and Ben with like everything, and I have nothing, and I'm just like, I hate everyone.
Wild
Did you
Thomas.
see Johnny today?
No, I know. He
Uh-uh.
got like 4 amazing ones in a row. Like I swear he was just saving those pictures. What we should do while Thomas goes is we should look up which card we have the most of. And
Okay.
see what it
Okay.
is. 'Cause I'm curious because you said you get a bunch of Ponitas, and I know I get a lot of the stupid Electabuzz.
Yeah. Okay, Tom is back with us.
Are we done?
We're done with.
Okay.
We're never going to talk about
For
Pokemon
now.
again.
My number 7 was Nosferatu. Again, go watch our review. Fantastic movie. Worth the hype, in my opinion. So yeah, not a lot to say about it because we already said a lot. So
Yeah. We're playing a little game, Thomas, where we're seeing which Pokemon card we have the most of. Mine was I have 19 Farfetched. The little bird. The little bird. I have 19 of those things. So you can filter.
I
You
have.
can filter it and go to the bottom.
Yeah,
How do you
8
filter?
The little bottom right symbol whenever you're in your deck.
I have 18 Petalil. The little green. You can't see it on mine, but it's that
I
little
think I know what you're
green
talking
thing.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, the bigger one like gives you health.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have 17 duos. The
Oh, and little
bird.
weird bird things.
yeah.
I was curious what it would be. But yeah, mine's the same as Thomas for my number 7 was Nosferatu. So we've already beaten that old horse many a time in his mustache. So
That old decrepit horse.
but I did remember that was the first movie on my list. First of 2.
Nice. I'm gonna go to music, and this is a whole music genre that had just like a huge year for the shoegazer lovers out there. We had Dive had a new album. We had Wisp. We had Starflyer come back with a more shoegazer sound.
Oh, look, the one thing I don't want to hear about too. So.
It was just a great year for this genre, just because it makes me a little sad because it's being fueled by TikTokers who love shoegaze. So now it's me and the TikTokers, guys. This grumpy guy and a bunch of TikTokers going to shoegaze music. So and pretty soon it'll be on all the movies, and I'm just gonna be a big ball of
All
hate,
the remakes and
big ball of anger, and every
slowed down versions and
every freaking trailer will have a shoegaze song in it, and I'm gonna be miserable. I'm just gonna explode. So you have that to look forward to. All right, Jared, what do you got?
This will be my first music pick. It's Knocked Loose's newest album, You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to. This is pretty heavily anticipated, but it's super heavy. It's just heavy, and it's great for working out, and it's just they do a lot of like. I feel like they experiment more with music, like in that genre than usual, and I just like it. The only thing is sometimes the guy that screams sounds like SpongeBob when he screams, so I'm like, that's a little weird. But great album.
Thomas.
I'm going to repeat a bit. That's Good Pasta. The fact that we got to do that. I had to text Jared though because I had like a complete brain like fart because like, did you just talk about In Praise of Shadows? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, making sure because
I thought you just didn't give a crap because you were just like, whatever.
dude, like I zoned out like hardcore.
He's
I was
just opening Pokemon packs. We know what's
trying to
happening.
catch up. He's like,
I
I've got this.
I was like looking at you to back me up, and you were just on the phone.
I completely zoned out. I have no idea what happened. I was just like,
Left him hanging.
did he just talk about In Praise of Shadows? Because I feel like he just talked about that and I completely ignored it. But yes, no, the fact that we got to do that and it brought a lot of views to our channel, and glad to have a supportive watch base because we get consistent views for that, so we're really appreciative of that. So and yes, the In Praise of Shadows one was the one that kind of knocked out of the park and kind of the crazy one because we're just like, we got to do this because this is nuts. So, and by the way, Jared, I don't know if you watched Unsubscribed at all. They had Wendigoon on, and he talked about talking to him. So,
Oh, really?
I think he was way too forgiving of him. Like even the guys are like, I think you're a little too nice. He's like, well, it's just
It's Wendigoon. He's not gonna say anything.
that's the thing is like I think your niceness is getting a little in the way of this because like you have us who could just like bully the crap out of this guy. So, but it was good to know that he didn't have any bad blood between them. So, but yeah,
Fair enough.
moving on.
Moving on to the anime of the list, Solo Leveling Season 1. What, I mean, just a dope delight, man. Just like
Dope delight.
I'd heard the name a couple times and everyone's like, oh, it's so good, so good. I was like, sure, I'll try it, whatever. Didn't know anything about it. Art's awesome. Story's just so satisfying. It's just that main character getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Just every dopamine anime neuron firing in my brain. I'm like, yes, cool. Swords, armor, you're getting bad A and buff and get all the ladies. Do it, nerd boy. I don't know.
Get all those
the
nurses.
The show's awesome. It's a typical kind of like, jumping into a world and normally like the video gamey menus would drive me nuts. I'm like, oh, it's so lame. But like, I don't know, the show pulls it off. It's so cool. Like it just gets me pumped. Gets me pumped like good anime does. I'm down. I love it. I can't wait for season 2 to be dubbed.
There was a lot of good anime this year. I was
Are you-
surprised.
Well,
Are
talk
you
about
waiting for
some.
it to be dubbed?
Yeah.
I watched all season 1 dubbed, so I was like, I could watch season
Mhm.
2.
The dub is really good.
It
though.
is really good. It's
Yeah.
really good.
I already watched the first episode.
Jerry,
I was
I knew
impatient.
Then shut your whore mouth.
That it does make me a little afraid of the direction it's going, but we'll see. I'm a little scared of the direction, but we'll see.
Be scarred.
My next one is just pure fun that you just shoot into your blood.
Why is it 2002, Thomas?
Yes, in my mind it always is.
Yeah, so just a very fun series that we've loved for a long time. Nearing the end, it's Cobra Kai season 6, part 1 and 2.
I thought you'd already said the name and I miss it. And I was like, what are you talking about? What is he talking about?
I thought he didn't say it, and he thought he said it, and he just kind of kept going. I was like, I guess we'll have to pick it up by context. I don't know.
No, but Cobra Kai has been super fun, and I kind of hate that they split it up, but whatever. We're gonna see it. When does it come out, Jonah? March or something like that?
February.
So pretty soon. But the first 2 parts, man, that's just a ninja world, man. The kids living in a ninja world, and
That's such a good show.
yeah, it's just so weird how good it is.
I know.
Every season, I'm like, it's gonna suck.
I know.
It's gonna start sucking, and then I'm like, man, I'm in.
There are characters that suck, but like
Yeah.
you want those characters to get beat up, and
Yeah.
sometimes they do, and you're just like,
You don't think the action's like gonna top itself, but they always find like some way to with some cool fight.
Yep. Jared.
Oh, number 5 is Clancy from 21 Pilots. When this came out, I was like, it was on repeat for the longest time. And I only recently have like kind of cooled down on it. I think this is their best album. Like every song I like. It's just really good. I really enjoyed it.
Thomas?
oh, me, sorry. So I was gonna put the Bear season 3 with this, but I was just like, the ending kind of left us like not loving just the whole, even though I liked it. So I'm going to put Solo Leveling for this one because I was texting Michael like when I was watching this.
So
I was like, dude, this is getting even better. Like, how is this? Because I didn't like the first like episode like really at all, and then I kept watching. I was like, it's getting kind of good. And by the very end, I'm like, this is like I'm reaching some levels here, guys. Solo leveling it, and it was so good. Especially the art direction for the Blood Knight. That was such a cool villain. So I was blown away at how good it was. I really so.
I was super surprised by Solo Leveling because it's based on a manhwa instead of like like manga and stuff like that. And the last big one was like Tower of God, and I didn't really care for that. But this is for some reason, this is awesome.
This also gave me a talking point with a girl because she's Korean and she's like, "Oh, I like anime, but I really wish they did more Korean stuff." I was like, "Guess what?"
Did you know I'm the only one that can level up in this world? She's all, I've got to go.
Weird me out, sir. Next one for me was one I watched this week. It was a little bit of a tangent, and it's gonna pull from my bonus stuff, like watch list, because my cousin kept telling me, he's like, dude, you gotta watch The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey. I was like, sure.
I've heard that's
I
great.
was like, I'll watch that movie. Never seen it. That's called.
You never seen the movie?
Never seen the movie.
Oh, I thought we did the movie for
Dude,
the
I
channel.
think I missed it. I don't know. I'd never seen it, but excellent cast. Just a super quirky mob movie, but that's not what it is because that didn't come out this year. But finished the movie, great movie, and I was like, oh, I'd heard about the Netflix show. Sure, I'll try it. Cannot believe how much I like this show.
Yeah.
Like the level of quality, and like I told Alex, I was like, I could show you any scene you would never guess this was a TV show. There's so much attention put into this. Like the shots are incredible. That kind of, because I was like, how are you going to compete with because like the movie is stacked with actors, man.
Was the wardrobe just as good?
The wardrobe's great.
Okay.
The style is there. The style is all over the show. I actually think I might like the show more than the movie, which is crazy because the movie's great. But like, and saying that also because like the movie is, like I said, stacked with amazing actors. And I was like, okay, so how are they going to do this with, now they do have Giancarlo Esposito in the show. He's amazing. But like that's like one of the few people that I know by name. The rest of them I was like, oh, okay, sure, we'll give it a go. Like just kind of blown away by the quality, by the humor in it, because it carries over that just strange kind of, it's like a mob comedy, but it keeps it, but it's not ridiculous. Like it is ridiculous, but it doesn't feel out of the universe. It's so well tied together and everything they do. Like there's a few scenes in it where you're just like, what the heck are they doing? What are they making him do? I don't know. It's a very, very well paced show. Like every day I was kind of pacing out over this past week of like, I'm going to watch this, but just episode a day, just really digest it. I did binge the rest of it yesterday because I had 3 episodes and I was like, I want to talk about the podcast. So I binged the rest of it yesterday, but yeah, 100% can't wait for season 2. So freaking good. So good.
I can't even quote the movie on here. It's too foul.
I'm kind of curious because I wasn't huge on the movie, but everyone says the show is great. So.
It's quality. It is like Penguin level quality. Just everything's there, and he directs I think 5 of the 8 episodes.
So Charlie Hunnam in the movie has the coolest look
Dude,
I've ever
really
seen.
does.
That
I wanna do
blue
my facial hair like
jacket.
his.
Yes.
So cool.
Exactly. Like that mixed with the hair, the beard, that blue jacket that he has. I
The
was like,
glasses.
the glasses, like you are the coolest looking mother effer I have ever seen in my entire life. And you're just like casual about this. Like, I hate you. I hate you so much.
Yeah.
And then you have like Matthew McConaughey, who's like
Does a
pulling
great
off like
job.
English tweed in a Texan accent. I'm just like, you're who I want to be when I grow up, but I'll
And
never
then you
be
got
that.
what's his name in a track jacket or suit, and you're like,
tracksuit.
Dude, do you know how much those tracksuits cost each?
probably a ton.
Like $8,000 a piece, because they're Gucci tracksuits. Like half of the budget was for fashion. And I'm like, did Guy Ritchie just go like, you know what? We're making a movie for the clothes.
And then the Zack Snyder's like, I can hold my beer.
Wait, my
I can one up that.
I can CGI this tracksuit on.
But yeah, I can't recommend the show enough. You guys, all of you need to watch it. It's so good. It's just good. It's good stuff.
That's good stuff.
All right.
Trademark,
So
copyright ours.
my next one is some anime. So it's been wild just to have Bleach back. I mean, it was so long ago. And it's back and it's good. I mean, this season has some of the best fights like for the entire series. And it's just you wouldn't expect that from like this anime that's been gone for so long. And then
Do you think it's good that they're taking their time with each of these things instead of rushing it?
Yeah, I didn't realize how like much they've done because I went back and I was like, I'll watch the dub now since I've seen the sub, and I'm going through the dub, and it's like, oh, we really watched this much of this series already because they're like 26 episode seasons already that we've seen, but
Because, like,
What a jump in art, like from the old series to this one. It's like,
yeah,
good lord.
it looks like a movie at some points, and it's been fun to watch that like every week. It's just been real fun. So Jared, what do you got next?
I'm gonna start some anime. This came out of nowhere. It was Kaiju number 8.
damn it.
And it was so fun.
Forgot about that.
What the hell?
Oh,
You forgot
my
about that?
gosh! That was this year?
I'm
I'm bad at these lists, guys.
this is on my list because it was so good. The opening, the ending was good. The story is amazing. The main character is so fun and likable. It's crazy. And then I don't usually watch shows with people because I don't like to wait for them, but I was watching it with Jackson and it was so fun with him because he was just like freaking out on it.
You got
And-
free food because of Jackson.
Oh yeah, I did. But it's so good, and I can't wait for the second season that's coming out this year. I can't wait to see where it goes. It's just
Oh, good.
Dude, how did I forget about that show? That feels like 2 years ago. But
what did you do this last year, Michael?
Wasn't that long
It's
ago.
Rebel Moon, man. Kaiju number 8 was amazing. Oh my god, that probably would have been like top 3. Holy cow, that show's so good. I'm glad you brought that up.
Now that I'm on to R4, I'm going to go with Dune Part 2. If you want to see my true feelings about this, I have a freak out and how much I love this on our review. I think part of it too is like I think Jonah said, like, this is a Lord of the Rings moment, but this was a Lord of the Rings moment for someone who read the books when they were like 13, 14, and I finally got to see that on screen. Like this is what the Lord of the Rings people got to experience when those movies came out. Like, this was just, oh my God, it was such an awesome experience, and the fact that it was done so well. Amazing movie, fantastic movie. If it doesn't get nominated for an Oscar, I'll be shocked, honestly, if it doesn't get nominated for. I know it's going to get nominated for like special effects, but just in general, like the directing, I think needs to be nominated. Like Denis Villeneuve was amazing. So yeah, go for it.
Number 4 for me was another album. It was a band I found through. I got to shout out Nerd Forge, that chick that does like computer builds and stuff on YouTube and stuff. She had mentioned this on her Instagram story of Friday Pilots Club, a single there. She's like, this has been on repeat all day. I was like, oh, that's a really good song. Clicked on their album, listened to all their stuff. They only have one actual album, which came out in July of this year, but the rest of their stuff, I listened through all of it. Varying degrees of style and what I enjoy, but then I hit this album, and it came out in July. Ended up being my number one listen to album, number one listen to song. I was in the top 500 of their listeners on Apple Music. It was like,
they send you a little video thanking you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Not that I saw it. But,
Lenny Kravitz sent me a video, so I don't know what's wrong with you.
God.
I got a Dance Gavin Dance one.
Dang.
Well, I get a Christmas card from Ryan Reynolds every year, so I don't want to hear it.
No, but it's just such a fresh feeling of music. Like their style's so strange and interesting. His voice is kind of like deep, but has I don't even know how to describe it. It's a great band. Super, super good. No song I dislike on the album. At least there are some other songs I'm not a fan of, just the style, but it's so, so good.
That voice does not match that man.
Not in the slight. He's like, it's like this. It reminds me of like, it's like if Elvis did more like modern rockish kind of punk, not punk so much, but like not that kind of like Elvis rock, but like a grunge, just garage band rock. If Elvis was doing that, he like has this deep voice, but he's this scrawny guy. It's so good though. Such a good album.
I cannot picture what this guy looks or sounds like. Like, I'm getting so many conflicting things.
A scrawny guy with a deep voice.
Punk rock, but not rock.
Kind of in the vein of Queens of the Stone Age, kind of singing, kind of that.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting, but it's just a unique band in my opinion. I was very, very pleased by it. Yeah, but yeah, listen to the crap out of it.
Right. So in my top 3 stuff is Lost Media. So this was the year that I got into Lost Media, started watching all the videos I could find, just consuming everything I could find about it. And it turned out to be a huge year for the, I don't know what you would call
Community?
it, the movement. Yeah, the community. There you go. Because this is the stuff they found this year. They found the most mysterious song on the internet. They found celebrity number 6, guys. This was a shower curtain with a bunch of celebrities printed on it, and no one could figure out who the number 6 celebrity was, and they figured it out, guys. They found Hero Brian. If you know that from the creepypastas of Minecraft, they actually found the stream of that. They found the back rooms, guys. The actual back rooms. They actually found it. Where was it? In New Jersey or something like New York?
I thought it was like Nebraska or something like that.
No, it was on the East Coast. They found unreleased piece of music from Mozart. So that was huge. And then they found one of the ones I was most interested in is this show called Turn On, which was an old sketch show from I think it was the 60s or 70s. And it during the first episode, some stations like actually put it off air because it was just too ahead of its time, too weird. So anyone has ever seen it, just had seen that first episode. They were actually able to find the episode 3 from that series. So that was an interesting one. But yeah, that was the rabbit hole I found this year. So hopefully there's another one out there.
I'd been into like Lost Media stuff for a while, so I was glad that he like got into it.
Yeah, it's been
Join
fun.
the cult.
All right, Jared.
Good. I'm the first one to talk about it.
Oh.
Dan to Dan. Another anime that came out of nowhere.
I'm sorry, I was
Um,
expecting Michael to go.
But yeah, I think we've talked about it for a while now. It's such a fun show, funny show, but then there's these moments of just like, what the are they like? You're just like, oh, don't do that, aliens. Yes,
Does it end on episode 12 or
yes,
Yeah, that's it.
that's how the season ends?
hmm
That's
You only
it.
have to wait.
Okay.
You only have to wait till later this year.
It's like June or July.
That's too okay.
July, I think.
We got a lot coming. We got Solo. We got
Yeah.
Kaiju. We got that.
One Punch. We got all
Movies are
kinds of
done.
stuff.
Anime is here.
Mushoku Tensei, just saying, but whatever.
More Spy Family. We got a
You
ton
know
of
what's
stuff.
interesting looking? That one where they're like hitmen in a convenience store. Have you seen
Oh,
that?
The one
yeah,
that's coming.
Sakamoto
Yeah,
Days.
the one that
That
Yeah,
looks
he's like a
interesting.
I
fat
can't wait for
hitman.
that one.
I watched the trailer yesterday for that. I was like,
The
dude,
hitman
list.
that got into work, like he retired and got
Yeah.
fat because he was enjoying the easy life.
hits his son with a pen. He's like, oh. I like that.
Can't wait for that one.
Yeah, it looks good.
But yeah, this one's so good, and then it's funny, and then that opening is like addicting. I have it like on one
That
of my
also,
playlists.
man.
Dude, creepy
Uh,
nuts, so good.
But yeah, Chris read the manga, and I was always like, nah, Chris doesn't know. But I guess he did know.
Yeah, I intentionally left this one off because I knew it was going to be on here somewhere. So I was like, I'll bring some other things so we can bring it.
Use me, you
Yeah.
did.
I'll use you. I used you. It's such a good show though. So much fun.
J-
Can't wait for more.
Jared, we're supposed to get my dress up darling this year.
I know.
I'm
Dude,
so
it
excited. I
took-
rewatched it this weekend. It's so
I
good.
forgot about that show, and then I was like, oh yeah.
So well, because the manga artist was like on hiatus forever, and he finally picked it back up, and like, oh,
Well, doesn't that manga artist know that he has to work until he's like almost dead?
dead. Yes, that's what I
You
say.
didn't tell him.
But yes, we're getting more. So, oh,
It's
my
gonna
turn.
be a
Okay.
crazy year for anime. I'm just saying.
Just say it, man.
So my number 3 is Kaiju number 8. Again, just blows you out of the water. The One Republic song at the end was a very odd choice, but I was not unhappy with it. I was like, hell yeah! I'm not even a huge fan of One Republic, but
I don't think anyone was until that song.
it's just so
They had the
it's just-
song on Sorcerer's Apprentice. Thank you very much.
It fits so perfectly, and just the character is like the most relatable character I think of all time, especially
Practical
horror.
muscle. Practical muscle.
Practical muscle. I'm just like, he's right. He is right. All that showy muscle, whatever. Work 60 hours a week and see if that helps. Probably does help. But anyway, yes, it's just so good. And I can't wait for season 2. I hope they keep up the quality of the animation because that was stunning.
Also,
Like,
the character designs are awesome, like the
Yeah.
kaiju forms
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
it's just so awesome. It's just great. So yeah,
They know how to
Kaiju number
hit
8.
those nerd neurons, man.
They do.
They got us this year with that. Very satisfying.
well,
And it's not like 40 episodes. It's just like boom, 12, bam, you get all the feels.
and they were all simulcast too, which was
That was
also
nice.
Very nice. Very nice, very nice. My number 3, we've mentioned several times, would be Dune 2. Surprised how much I loved this movie because I liked the first one, but I wasn't as crazy as the wave of everyone on it. I still have issues with it, but this one, it's phenomenal. It is that kind of epic of Lord of the Rings of just building this huge world and putting it all together and having twists and turns because I've never read the books, don't know anything about it. So having that ending moment, like you guys are talking about, where he's coming forward, it's like some Jedi or dark Sith person. And he's like, you're like, what the heck? Like for me, I'm like, what the heck? This is insane. Love the visuals, love the journey they take you on, the characters, the acting. So freaking good. Very, 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 very good movie.
that's like a
Right. So I'm just gonna put at my number 2 what Jared just said was Dun Dun Dun. So I mean he said it all, that stupid opening just gets in your head and it won't leave it, and it's there forever. And the art, man, the art is just so good. I love art like that, and it just keeps you.
Can I
wanting
say
more.
something about Dan to Dan though? Like, I'm sorry, but the tonal shift that it took at one point though, I had me like having whiplash because it was episode 6. It was that episode.
Yeah.
Oh, 7. Sorry, episode 7, and like that emotional, like just like beat down of an episode. Then it hits you with the ending credits. I'm just like,
It was
It's
an
funny.
incredible episode.
I
It's
watched
great,
that and I
man.
was like, Chris, you didn't tell me I would cry. And then Michael was like, what the heck? And I was like, I told you.
Well, it's not only like super emotional, but it is just artistically incredible. I always bring up that part where they change the POV to first person for her when she's chasing after the car. It's like, what an impactful way to just put yourself literally in her shoes, and just that emotion of her not really being able to see, but desperately trying to get that car. It was so good. That whole episode was just on another level, and yeah, like Tom said, very very juxtaposed to what the rest of the show is. But
well,
excellent.
just the
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah, so good.
Then it just like
Right
shifts to Turbo Granny in the little cat mode. I'm just like, I think I need to take a moment here to just like calm down because, ow.
And then they have one of the funniest moments in anime that I saw this year was that whole situation where she catches him like almost kissing.
Oh,
on the
I
ground.
know. Oh my gosh. Dude, just brilliant setup, and it's one of those, you're like, what's going on over there, because we don't know at the time, and then you get the whole playback and you're like, this is, and that character, you put that character initially in the hallway and I'm like, oh, I have you pegged. I get this character, just a snotty brat, we're gonna pick on her or whatever, she's gonna be, but it's just changing it and evolving it to someone. I'm like, in a couple episodes, I'm like, I care so much about your character. Why?
I love
and
her
it brings
so
much.
dang
It
much.
brings so much humor to it too. 'Cause she's like, we're supposed to kiss now. That's what I saw in the magazine. You shouldn't be looking at those magazines. It's great.
She is so good because she
Yeah.
is so much.
the deal.
She's so attractive that heaven itself is blessing her with powers, guys.
Dude, the indirect kiss part where they like clack teeth. That
Oh yeah.
I was cracking up at that. I was
Great.
like, that would be like the worst thing to do.
And then I was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna like Gigi because I just saw him in like the opening and I was like, I doubt I like him. And then
I
he's
know, me too.
amazing
It's
with
amazing.
Ogrun.
Oh my gosh. So good.
All right, Jared, what do you
I was
got?
like, whose turn
left?
was it?
Oh no. My number 2 was the whole Kendrick and Drake feud. It was such a phenomenon, and it was just awesome. It was like everyone was talking about it. It was such a like, what's gonna happen next? But yeah, it was super fun. That song Kendrick put out, the Not Like Us one, is so good. I still listen to it because it's just a bop. But yeah, it was such a thing everyone could talk about.
I don't think any of us talked about it here though.
That's
Yeah,
Honestly.
because you guys are lame.
I would have.
Yeah, I know.
I knew they were angry. That's all I knew.
Yeah,
There were songs thrown.
Michael probably forgot about it.
Yeah.
that's probably true.
He didn't. He mentioned it.
So my number 2 is Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation anime. Again, this one kind of got me out of a depression spell, which I didn't expect that to. I watched the whole first season in a day, which I was like, didn't know I could do that anymore because I thought that those days of that kind of anime consumption was behind me. But I watched the whole thing, freaking loved it. Watched it as it aired throughout like the rest of the summer. I'm even reading the light novels. I'm like way ahead now, which is kind of interesting. Got me interested in light novels. Never even really heard of those until now. I kind of telling Jared, like, do you know they do this? He's like, yeah, duh. I'm like, sorry.
Dang.
But yeah, no, it's great. It's not for everybody, but I don't care. It's for me. Like I love it. So moving on.
Number 2. My number 2 was, I mean, this year we have a couple more surprises. Like we talked about the movies that surprised us that we didn't expect. And this one was surprising in the fact that a few episodes in of Shogun, I was like, this is good. But then I hit that second half and I was, this is incredible. Like just the weight of emotion, the quality throughout the show. This year had such good quality shows, except for the one that I want to be Arcane, but we don't need to mention that. This show was just outstanding in basically every field. The character development, the emotion that it brought through it, and just kind of the world they built, the world they portrayed, I should say, not built, but
Production quality.
it is just a quality show with emotion. Like, it's not just like, oh, look what we did with money. It's like, look what we did with care and attention and performance. And yeah, it's just that show was outstanding to me. So yeah, it rose to my number 2.
Number 2, okay. So I guess it's my number one stuff of the year, which was my favorite song of the year, which was Infinite Health by Tycho. It was just one of those ones that always was on repeat, just made you feel good when you heard it, made you feel pumped. And then they came out with a vocal edit, and I was even more excited because now we have lyrics to the song, and it was good. So, yeah, good year for that song. So that was my favorite song of the year. So, Jared.
I don't think it's any surprise. Usually it's on my lists when it's out, but Sonic 3. It's probably my most anticipated thing this year. Way better than Dune 2, way better than Shogun, way better than Penguin. It had Keanu Reeves as Shadow.
He was amazing.
Duh.
Yeah.
It had everything. It had humor. It had action. It had feels. It had everything, dude. It had
smelly people in the theaters.
It had Live and Learn.
Amy Rose.
It had Metal Sonic. What didn't it have? What didn't it have? Easy number 1.
Easy number 1.
Well, maybe if you shower, Thomas, go shower.
I didn't watch it.
It was surprisingly great.
Oh,
it was a fun movie to see.
It was.
Michael, go ahead and take it. I want to end on mine.
My last one, another surprise, like I said 5 seconds ago, surprises out the wazoo. Like with the movies we had, and then freaking, what was it, May or June? PlayStation has a little showcase, and they drop a little teaser for Astrobot, a little addition to the pack and play game they had that came out with the PS5. And I was like, wow, this is like super creative and super fun. I hope this is as good as it looks. And it was 10,000 times better than it thought it was going to be. This game, I haven't had like a smile, and I don't want to equate it to Mario 64, because Mario 64 they're different games for sure, different styles. They are 3D platformers, but it's different. Like, it's more along the lines of like Ratchet getting different abilities and what the level presents itself with what you're doing. So it's not like Mario 64, but I haven't felt that kind of joy. I literally was laughing half the time playing this game just by the mechanics of what they're having you do. Like, it's not like a Lego, like they have humor things going on. It's just like what a creative solution. It's a very varied game. It's thought through well. It's not repetitive. It's so well curated, and it's super, super fun. I don't know. It's just an utter blast to play. And it has a satisfying, like, you have your hub world and you're collecting all the like bots that have Astro costumes on, so like the Bloodborne, Tomb Raider, all that kind of stuff. And then you collect them all in this space. And they just have this like open world where you can kind of just experience little scenes they'll reenact, or like Tomb Raiders running around the main thing being chased by a dinosaur all the time. They have like trophies that are super, super fun, where you have to get like a picture with, I think the trophy title was like, get a picture with 2 legendary explorers. And so Nathan Drake's over here in Tomb Raider. You have to catch her when she's running around, and you take a picture of both of them, you get the trophy. And it's like just super clever, fun things that are well thought out. They're like, this is how you curate. Just it's a perfect game. It's easy way I can say it. It's a perfect game. Super delightful. Not long, not too long. It's like, it's not overstaying its welcome. It's challenging. It's, I don't know. Excellent game. Game of the year for me.
Didn't it win Game of the Year?
It did win Game of the Year. I cannot. That's another thing. Like, for that to win Game of the Year is insane. Like, it's so fun to watch the creators go up there and be like, we don't know what just happened. We just made this just for the love of it. And it's like, it's wild.
Well,
so amazing.
Wasn't it like a big thing with like Black Sun Wukong not winning? And
I've played a third to half that game. It's an amazing game, but like, I feel like there are probably other games that would beat it out, but I don't know. So I wasn't surprised that didn't win. I would have been surprised if that had won. But like things like Final Fantasy was one of the ones that could have gone up there. Freaking Metaphor, was that one of the ones that were nominated? Elden Ring, the DLC, which I think, even though they call it DLC, I put 51 hours into that thing. It's a game.
I was going to say, I saw your game
But
played. So
I don't know why they called it DLC. But anyway,
That card game.
the card game that I'm afraid to play because of people how say it that's good. I'm like, I'm getting sucked into that. But yeah, so but for Astrobot to win is just it's awesome. So cool.
Astro Butt.
Astro Butt.
but
Yeah.
All right, Thomas.
so my favorite thing of the whole year was I got to go to Japan. As soon as I got home, I started looking at flights going back. I'm just like, can I go back? It's hard to put into words how much fun I had. Especially the weird thing too is going by myself. I put in about 9 miles a day walking. There's just so much to see. There's so much to do, and I love talking to people there. Just the culture there was so much fun to get into. It was so much fun to get lost. Like my favorite place was probably Kyoto. I mean, I love Tokyo. Tokyo is awesome. Like Tokyo is the coolest city, but it was just beautiful and just so unique, and it was just amazing there. I absolutely loved going to Japan. I'm thinking about going back because I'm like, man, because people are like, where do you want to go to next? I'm like, back to Japan.
Back.
Like I would do that, and I kind of want to go up north. It's a little colder there. I was hotter than I thought I was going to because the Japanese do not like to be cold. So you're sweating because you're walking around in like a coat, and you're like, oh, thank God, get in here. The temperature will be like, but no, cranked full blast. I'm like, crap. I'm very hot here. And yeah, but it was just a fantastic time. I got to go. So I got some things from Japan. So I got the CD. It's the Kingdom Hearts live orchestra for their music. It's really good. And then I got the Chrono Trigger soundtrack, the double disc soundtrack on it, which was great. And I've been playing Chrono Trigger on my emulator. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it. I got to keep some coins from Japan. If you have a 500 piece, do not use them. Save them for the gacha machines, because the gacha machines only take 500 yen pieces. They do not take 100 yen. Big haul or big find or big thing for me was I got to go to an actual huge, massive Gunpla store in Osaka. And this thing was 5 levels of just models. Like, it was crazy. The amount of just, and what I picked up from here is very me. I picked up a few kits. They're not, they're like tiny ones, but because I had to fit everything into my suitcase. So I couldn't buy, because as soon as I got there, I'm like, I have $15,000 credit limit on this credit card. I could just buy the store, but I didn't do that. I got something that's very me. So I got this tumbler. So what it is a bullet casing from the 08 MS team. And it's a coffee seed. It's a coffee tumbler. Shut up. But yeah, I got a few other things too. I got like some chopsticks and stuff like that. I've given to a few people, but this was like the most fun. Oh, I didn't get it. I had to order it because you can't take this through customs. The Japanese are really weird about knives. You can't technically carry pocket knives like on the street, but this guy had this knife here. I was like, wow, that looks familiar. So this is called a Higanokami 7. So it's this little knife here. They hand make these in Japan. You can order them. And actually the boy, I saw our gray heron. The boy from The Boy and the Heron actually uses one of these. It's a golden one. But there's these tiny little knives. They're really cool. They're handmade. But yeah, no, it was a fantastic experience. I cannot undersell how awesome Japan was. I would go again in a heartbeat if I had the money. And I mean, I plan on going again is the biggest thing too. And this time I know how to use the trains, by the way, which that is a lifesaver. And they're so easy to use. Like I was panicking about using them, but as soon as I like got on, I was like, oh, well, this ain't crap. This is so easy to use, and the Google Maps works with them. Like it's just it was so awesome. I cannot express how much fun I had there. So that was my favorite thing to do this year.
How long were you there in total?
I was there for 11 days.
Nice.
And the Osaka airport is pristine. Going from the Osaka artificial island airport to LAX was a massive cultural shock. And I hate LAX beyond anything I could ever describe how much I hate that place. Like, also, the exchange rate was kind of a shock to come back to, because I bought like full meals for less than $3. Come back to LAX, a really crappy sandwich and a coffee cost me $50.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. So
last time I was at LAX, it was like 1,000,000,000 degrees.
dude, it was hot
so
there
hot.
too. No, it was hot during like the winter. I'm just like, it's cold outside. Why do you guys keep it at 90 degrees in here? Especially with all these crazy people.
Yeah.
So, but if you have a chance, go to Japan. I don't care if you go with somebody, go by yourself. I don't give a crap. Also, get global entry. Cannot tell you how much of a hassle-free that was. That was awesome. I stood in line with like 800 people to go through customs. I'm like, wait, I have global entry. Walked through the line. I didn't have to wait. I walked right through. It was like, bye. So awesome. Anyway, go to Japan.
Okay.
All right. We'll do it. Okay.
Cool. I'll come with you.
All right. My news is probably all ancient news since we've been gone so long. So we'll just skip right to whatever was on your guys' watch list and whatever you want to talk about.
There was one news piece that I saw today I did want to bring up. I'll try and find it while someone
Okay.
goes.
Tom Holland is marrying Zendaya.
Are they? Aw.
Oh.
Good for them.
One of them was Nintendo or not Nintendo, Disney tried to buy Nintendo way back in 2016. So that almost happened.
This isn't what I was looking for, but Ghost of Tsushima anime coming to Crunchyroll 2027. Very cool.
Jared, how much you got on your watch list?
A little bit.
You want to do yours first?
Yeah. I don't have. We already talked about the Fall Guy. That's the only thing I really watched. I was just going to talk about music. On my list, I talked about Kendrick. And why that was so high on there is because I listened to all his stuff. Because the only thing I really knew about him before that was that he was on a Thundercat song, and then he was on that Black Panther album. So I always heard people talking about him and like how he's the best. So I finally was like, I'll check out his albums. So I did. Kind of a hit and miss for me. So I started off with Overly Dedicated, which is his first album. It's really good. There's a lot of, I won't go through all of them, but there were some hits that I really liked. And then after that, I went to Section 80, which is like probably his most jazzy feeling album, because Kendrick likes jazz with the hip hop. And so this one is his most like jazz filled one. It really sounds like old hip hop, like 80s hip hop on this album. So it was really good. And then there's Good Kid, Mad City, which everyone says is the best. Kind of a miss for me. I was like, I don't really like this. It was more like it's more like now like everyone else's hip hop and rap. It's just like same beats kind of thing. And it just like, it wasn't as jazzy. So I didn't really care for it. And then I got to Pimp a Butterfly, which is, it's jazzy, it's hip hop. It's just like all this influence into it. It's an amazing album. I think it's like every song is good. The first one has Thundercat in it, so I was like, of course, this is gonna be a great album. But there's even one song I'm trying to learn like all the parts, like the drums, the bass, and guitar, because it's just such a good song. I love this album. It's really good.
You just ignore bass. I don't believe you.
And then we get to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, which is another album of his that people really gush over, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. There are like the first half is really good. Second half kind of like just drops off for me. The first half does have like that jazzy, like soulful, kind of funky sound, and then the later half is just it kind of just dies out. And then the one before that I forgot to mention was Damn, which I listened to before because Johnny was like, if you're gonna get into them, you listen to that one. Not a fan of that one. Again, it's not as jazzy or funky. It's more of like regular like rap beats and stuff like that. So I didn't like it that much. And then he released one last month called GNX, which is really good. Has some really good hits on there. Like Swabble Up is probably the one that's blowing up the most right now. And then TV Off. So like he's really good. I like his raps because they do have a lot of depth to them, and they're always it's always about something. It's not like just like usual rap where you're just like, oh, this is kind of like I don't relate to this, or I don't like really care about what he's talking about. It's more thoughtful than a lot of rappers, so that's why I really enjoy it. And then I listen to all the stuff he's like featured on. So I used to listen to Nerd, like Pharrell Williams band. But of course, I didn't know about Kendrick back then, so I forgot he was on one of their albums. He's on a song called "Don't Do It," which is I've been on repeat because it's so catchy and fun. And then, of course, that "Walk On By" song by Thundercat, which he's on, is just awesome. And then I listened to the not all of it, but the Black Panther album. There's a lot of good songs on there. But I like that whole beef thing between Drake and Kendrick because it got me into Kendrick, and like I do think he's a great rapper, like leagues ahead of Drake, because his music's garbage. Like I always thought it was kind of just like fake and like dumb. But yeah, he's really good.
Drake has his fans out there. Jonah.
People love that Hotline Bling song.
Yeah. Jonah, what do you got?
The only things I have is I don't know if you talked about these, the ones we watched over at your place. Is
I don't think we did.
No, we didn't have a show between them, did we?
Yeah.
Just two. The first was Stranger in Paradise, which was that 80s indie film that you talked about. I love this movie. I love movies like this. Like I always do. It's a very small and just like character based movie, but it has kind of this just like odd approach to it.
Yeah, what'd you think about like the cuts? It didn't have like cuts. It was just like next scene.
Like every scene is just like one shot, and there's no like editing between them. It's just like black screen, like a couple seconds, and then the next scene. It's like kind of like a blooper reel, kind of. But I really like that. I don't know why. I can't explain it. It's very just a movie you just have to watch, and it speaks for itself. But yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah, it's a very me movie. I think.
Yeah.
If you would see it, you'd probably, oh yeah, Joseph would like that.
The training video?
No, maybe.
From the 80s.
There's a ton of movies like this after this, but I can't think of like many before it. So it kind of started that whole like kind of like quirky indie kind of stuff. And then the only other one was we watched the Rainmaker. Was that with Matt Damon? Very good movie. Yeah, it's what you expect. It's kind of just like a 90s like court drama, but it's very like well done film.
Best John Grisham novel, honestly.
Honestly.
I never read it. My dad's really into him.
Most dads are. It's either John Tom Clancy or John Grisham.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
It was weird. We got back to
Oh yeah.
back to Lubbock, and they're like, "Hey, we just watched The Rainmaker," and it was like, "Weird. We just watched The Rainmaker."
Weird. I just watched The Rainmaker on my flight to Japan.
Is that it, Jonah?
Yeah, other than
Those two?
the one I talked about.
All right, Michael. Did you ever find what we were looking for? What were we looking for?
I was looking for a news thing. I don't remember what it was.
Oh yeah,
we can pass on without it. We don't need. You want me to do my list?
yeah. Sure, go ahead.
I had some time off, so I'll burn through these as fast as I can. I did do quite a few movies though. Rewatched Batman Begins for the first time in probably 10 years. Simultaneously very impressed, but also surprised at how much it had aged. That movie has aged, and I didn't expect it to have aged that much. There's a lot of just quippy superhero lines in there. The Tumblr chase is one of the dumbest scenes I've ever seen in my life. Like rewatching it, I was like, what is he? A shortcut? None of this makes sense. Rooftops. I don't know. Weird, but I was overly impressed by the piecing together the beginning of how it's all kind of put. I mean, it's Nolan, so he's great at that, but introducing it, but also keeping your interest while you're introducing Batman is impressive after that many iterations, and he does a great job.
A very well-paced movie for how long it is.
Yeah. I'd forgotten how long it was too, but still a great movie in my opinion. But
you know how I said Charlie Hunnam looks so freaking awesome in A Gentleman.
I'm just bringing that back up,
dude. Liam Neeson does look
Liam
awesome
Neeson
movie, man.
on the ice scene. That dude is just a samurai. Cool. He looks so
cool, man.
I've tried to have that hair, facial hair, but I cannot do it. It's impossible.
Yeah, I don't know many white people that could pull off apart from him. But so yeah, great movie. Moving on to a weird one that I don't think anyone else has seen except for Ben. Dream Scenario. I finally watched Dream Scenario. Did anyone else watch that?
Watch what?
Dream Scenario.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You saw that one, yeah.
With Nicolas Cage, right? Yeah.
One more time, because
I still don't understand what you're saying.
Scenario.
Oh,
Scenario. Hot dog. Kodak.
Okay. I was just like, I'm still not.
Sorry. Yeah, Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage. Utterly bizarre movie. I do think it was really good. It lost me for a couple times, but then it brought me back. I'm not even sure how to describe this movie. I don't know. It was intriguing. I liked the ideas they played with it, and it's A24, so they get weird with it, but I feel like they stayed within the bounds pretty well. Because, it's like he's appearing in people's dreams and no one knows why. But how they play with it, I was very interested. I didn't expect a couple of the turns. So very good movie. I think his performance was fantastic in it. And like the character he plays, he's another actor I'm growing a lot of appreciation for. Because I'm like, you've done so much crap, but you're really good. Like, you're really good in the good stuff. And this especially, I feel like his performance is great. Watched The Big Lebowski for the first time in my life.
The first time?
Never seen The Big Lebowski.
And now he just abides all the time.
I don't roll on Shabbos.
Didn't know anything about the dude beforehand. I think it was I settled on really good. I think gave it 3.5 for Letterboxd. It lost me in the sense of it didn't go anywhere in the end. Like,
That's
it was kind of all this stuff was leading to something. People were dealing in stuff, and then we just kind of forgot about it. And I was like, there wasn't really a resolution to any of that. And I was actually very interested in the weird, like, dealings with everyone. It was almost like The Gentleman and that kind of underground weird things of everyone's doing weird stuff. But it was a very funny movie. John Goodman, man, that man is a delight. And he keeps
goodbye, sweet prince.
Poor Steve Buscemi just keeps getting yelled at for no darn reason. But yeah, that trio of characters was very enjoyable. That dude that played Jesus, the bowler,
John Turturro,
he hasn't aged a day. He looks the exact same. I'm like, what is happening? Dude, blood are you drinking? I don't know. Very weird movie. Was just in the mood for a strange comedy, and that's what I got.
Do you like seeing Flea in there for a few minutes?
It's the German dude. One of the German guys.
Flea was one of them. I didn't even notice. He did so many random things.
Yeah.
I'm not scared by these neo-fascist. It's funny.
Such a
was he chasing Princess Leia?
Was that him?
Oh, I forgot that.
Oh, that's upsetting. That's upsetting. We're at that time of the podcast where Hattie's going to bother me. Hattie, no more. Jumping from ridiculous comedy to the other end of the spectrum of Ad Astra, which didn't know anything about this movie. Just knew it was Brad Pitt in space. Excellent
Didn't
movie.
we watch this with you?
Me
Alex
and
watched it. Alex
me
watched
and
it.
Jared went to go see this in theaters.
Hmm.
Long
It's a
time ago.
great movie.
Back
Yeah,
when we were
I
in
did-
DFW.
Watched it not too long ago too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I Alex had told me because he freaking loved this movie. I didn't know what to expect. It was way more emotional than I thought it was going to be. I appreciated the I don't know. It was very grounded for like space travel, and like we're not dealing with anything crazy. We're just dealing with people in space and what is happening. I don't know. I thought it was a really really well paced movie, slow but just did it right. It did that kind of build up and tension of emotional relationships and what's going on and kind of reveals and everything. I don't know. Excellent movie, visually stunning, intense. That opening scene, especially where they're on that tower. I was like, oh my! Especially because like I saw recently that Red Bull stunt where that guy actually did skydive from the atmosphere, like out there
From
and everything like that.
space, yeah.
And it's like, oh man, this is like legit. Like that could happen. Like that tower coming off. I don't know. Very, very, very good movie.
There's like some old school sci-fi concepts in there that is like so like because the orbital elevator has been in sci-fi for basically since like H.G. Wells. And the fact that they actually have an orbital elevator, I was like, that you don't see that anymore. That's so cool.
It's very cool. And I feel like this is probably one of my favorite Brad Pitt performances, honestly. And like his kind of dynamic with the crew, I appreciate a lot because he is someone and everyone treats him with respect, but he's also kind of like on a back seat for quite a while of he's like not taking control. And then the scene where they go to that freaking abandoned station, whatever, with the
monkeys.
Yeah, that was like another thing. I'm like, I don't know what's happening here. And then that to happen, I was like, oh, I don't know. Great movie. Great movie.
Yeah.
It's weird how stuff like that, like the monkeys and like the chase scene and how they somehow make you feel grounded.
Dude, yeah. Like you're like it's a well done movie to keep it believable.
Have you still not seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I still have not seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, that one's a good one
And
too.
I still haven't seen what's the other one that I always think? Oh, Wolf of Wall Street. I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah, but you
That
have to
one I
watch.
don't, yeah.
You have to watch.
I know it's on
Once
my
Upon a
list.
Time.
I see it.
No. If you watch it, you have to watch it with me and Jared. I'm not even joking. Like
You guys will never watch it.
I know.
it's just it's a movie you need to watch with friends. Like just trust
Yeah.
me. Especially like there's one scene you're just like
it is, but I'm interested. in why you say that.
trust me, it's something you need to do. I can't I don't want to spoil
There is one
anything.
scene we want to see you react to.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a movie I know like just the premise, and that's the only thing I know about the movie.
It's so good.
Brad Pitt is so good in that.
He's so good in that. And you'll
Yeah,
realize you'll
Leo's
never be-
good too in that one.
Yeah, Leo's really good.
you realize you'll never look as good as Brad Pitt will ever. And you kind of become slightly depressed. It's not quite the Hugh Jackman thing because you're like, I can get muscular, I can get big, I can do that. But when Brad Pitt takes his shirt off, you're just like,
At like 60 years old,
Like,
and you're still
yeah,
like,
he's
man, I'd
old.
bang him.
he's doing like these like flips onto the roof. You're just like, crap, I'm not even gay, but yeah, I'd say yeah, hell yeah.
We'll have to add it to the docket then, because it is one I do need to see, but I don't know why I have such reservations watching it. I don't know why. Anyway, we were talking about Gentleman. Gentleman was awesome. The movie show. Please watch it. Someone in this podcast watch it. It's great.
I'll
And
try.
one of the strangest instances that I've never had before while watching a show. I've never wanted two people to get together more in my entire life than watching something. And it's not like there's no romantic tension whatsoever, but I'm like, I want these two to bang so badly.
Dang.
So badly. And I won't say whether they do or not. So we'll leave it there. But I don't know why. I was like, I want
Is this in The Gentleman?
the show, yes.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I want these two to bang so badly. There's just like this tension that I'm like, you two want to and you know it, but you're not saying it. And I want you to because it would be anyway. We'll leave that there.
Michael's first venture into shipping.
I know. I'm like, I'm shipping these two so badly.
The
And,
ship has sailed.
yeah. Anyway, performances are great in that show. Watch the show, please, please, dear God.
You saw Rings of Power, so you should have been used to shipping.
Get out of it.
I will cut you, Joe.
Last show I watched, I finished Mob Psycho season 2, which I had never seen before. Not as good. I didn't like it as much as season 1. It didn't have as much structural flow. So like halfway through the season, I'm like, what are we doing? I love it. It's great. I love the characters, love what we're doing, and like the kind of side stories. I was disappointed in the villain. So this is the end of like the Claw, and they go and they're coming over and they're like, hey, we're taking over the world. We're better than everyone else because we're psychos. What I feel like that show does so well is give that satisfaction of, like I was talking about with Nosferatu, of like that you underestimate the hero or you do disbelieve the hero, but then he proves himself so greatly, and especially with Mob because he doesn't want to fight, he's a pacifist, all that stuff. The last fight didn't have that for me at all. They didn't have what every fight with him has, where it has that satisfying, oh, he's about to step forward, and it's just that impactful thing. Like there were points where he dove in front of the villain to save Blondie Boy, and like the villain guy, he kind of went, oh, and then it skipped the scene, and he was just back to fighting him like nothing was weird. Like he was like, I'm fine with you being strong. Like, there weren't moments that hit like that, which the rest of the show does so well. Apart from that, still a great show, so great season. The villain was just the only disappointing part for me. Loved how they incorporated all the old characters though from the first season. They were fighting, they're all like on their team. They're kind of my hero planning it out to invade the city or whatever. But anyway, super fun. Last two things I did, we'll jump through really, really fast. I finished Final Fantasy Rebirth. Great game, but don't know why it exists. The whole game you're chasing after Sephiroth, but it's just like it's like a cruise. It's just like, let's hit all the scenic routes and do all these random things that I had a blast doing. I had a lot of fun with this game. I didn't actually want it to end, which is strange. But
let's chase the enemy, but let's make it a day.
Literally, it's like you're following the coded men the guys in black coats the whole time. Kingdom Hearts, like Jared said, and you just. But there's no. It's just random. The whole middle of the game is random. The beginning has interest, and then the end focuses on it. But it's like. I was like, what are we, like half the time I was like, what are we doing? I have no idea. Very, very fun game. Got out of that and got in like a slump of like, I don't know what to play. Asked you guys, no one was helpful. Just kidding. You guys tried.
We tried.
But I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And I kept hearing in the back of my mind, I was like, or had in the back of my mind, I was like, download The Witcher, look at the next gen update. Because I knew they did a PS5 update. And because last time I jumped at Witcher, I was like, oh, this is dated. It looks old. And I've always wanted to finish that game. So I jumped back into it, and it is unbelievable what they did to this game. Like, they added foliage, they added world stuff. Like, it looks like a next-gen game. It is incredible. And not only that, they changed so many aspects. Like, they changed the camera position, where, like, old combat, it was more, not quite isometric, but it was up in the air and up top, and you kind of didn't feel quite engaged in the combat. They went God of War reboot. It's third person over the shoulder. You feel way more intense in the action. The combat's still not my favorite, but I've learned how to kind of pace myself through it to enjoy it. I did bump it down on easy because I utterly refuse to wear any of the outfits in this game. They are the ugliest pieces of crap.
I will be naked the whole time.
They are like you start off with Geralt's armor, and he has the shoulder like chainmail pads and the breastplate, and it's like dark and it looks amazing. All the other stuff, there's one that I found that's not bad, but it's not. I'm not changing what I'm wearing, and I'm like I'm wearing. It's going through Mass Effect with the first gun again. I'm literally wearing this armor that I'm playing on easy, and I almost die because I refuse to wear this crap. It's so ugly. I don't understand it, but I mean, you guys just look up pictures of the. It's like the initial armor, the cover armor he's wearing is amazing. It looks so good. And then they have these puffy, breastplated, colorful flannel looking things. You're like, this is not, Geralt is not a wood chopping man. He is a monster chopping man, and he needs to dress for the occasion. He is emo and gruff and scary, and he's wearing a tutu. I don't know.
I just imagine Michael being like, oh, that's tacky, and then just walks on.
But there's
some god armor. No, it's ugly.
It's horrible. It's horrible. But I have changed a lot of the swords. The swords are awesome. That's one of the things I wanted from a game that I was looking for was like, which I'm not getting with the suits, but I'm getting with like the weapons and everything like that. That kind of satisfying upgrade where you're like, oh, the next thing. I am playing on easy because this game is forever long. It's
dude. Try playing it on like hard.
No. Also,
it's ridiculous.
I wouldn't have gone down to easy if I was more satisfied with the combat. The combat is very much like you're hitting a health bar. There's not a lot of like reaction with the enemies. Aside from like final kills. Final kills are awesome. He dismembers them, junk like that. Like you have a lot of fun with that. But the game itself, I've tried to play this 3 times I think before, and I've gotten each time about the same point, and I stopped. I am well past. I'm actually in Act 2 now. I'm like halfway through Act 2. We're still doing main things. I don't want to spoil anything, but like it kind of just dawns on me how incredibly impressive. Like we've talked about quality a lot today, and like shows we've been watching. Like this game is just pure quality throughout. Like apart from the things I've mentioned, but like I like my intention going through this was because that's what I do with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I was like, I am mainlining this. I just want to see the story because that's what I care about. I care about these characters. Side quests are so shoehorned in and garbage in most games, especially in Final Fantasy VII. Like I said, I went up to that thing. I was like, get my grocery list and I'll help you. He's like, no, I'm going back to story. Bye. And so I jumped in Witcher 3 and I'm like, I am mainlining this like crazy. Sunday I started playing, and for 6 hours I did side quests. Like they're so well written, you don't realize what you're doing. You don't realize you're not in a main story quest. It is unbelievable how much care goes into each of the just characters you're dealing with, and their situations of the world around them, and how much well it's built around things. The game is so freaking impressive, and I'm just kind of drawn. It's a game that just gets better with time. I feel like it actually has a pretty weak intro because not a lot of the world has a lot of like. It's not lasting. It doesn't stick in your mind. That like even like the cities and everything. But then you get half through the game, you go to these like Skellige is so cool, and you like take a boat to this like snowy island and fight this ice troll and like these things. Like the beginning's missing a lot of that kind of moments that one are recognizable because you kind of just get lost in wilderness, and then the main city you go to Novigrad is just a giant city you just run around forever doing quests. But I feel like that, but the more I get into this game, the more I'm appreciating of how impressive it is, and I'm it's one of those where I'm like, I don't want to finish this one either. Like I hit the end of Act, or I'm getting I think to the end of Act 2. I don't know how long.
Oh,
it
don't
goes.
worry, you got a lot to
That's
go
what
through.
I'm
Michael.
assuming, but I'm like, I was like, I'm gonna go to side quest for a little bit because I don't want this end, which is like I was talking about earlier, having that.
I am gonna do that guy's groceries.
Like
I think my cousin put like 380 hours into it.
it's dude.
That's nuts.
Like Joseph, I can't believe you haven't played this game because you
I know.
you love games that don't end. This game is, and it's just how well it's put together. Although I sent my goofy little video of the horse.
Oh, the horse.
The horse. Jared, have you ever seen those dogs that they like walk on their front legs and it looks goofy?
Yeah.
I'm racing a guy back to the Witcher keep in Witcher, and I hit a tree, and the horse pops up like that and is just sprinting on its front legs. I was like, what on earth?
You need to look up, like, because especially when they first released it, like it's like 10 years ago at this point, the glitches for the horse were like game breaking. Like I remember my cousin, he had a glitch and it corrupted his save file.
No, I would be
from
pissed.
the horse.
I would be very pissed.
Well, luckily he only put like 10 hours in, so it wasn't a
Still
huge
10
loss.
hours.
That's a lot of
10 hours. But he's just like, I just hit like a wall and it killed like
Yeah. That
My
is,
horse exploded.
that is one thing.
it jihaded the whole game.
That is one thing about the horse riding is horrible in this game.
Yeah,
It is
I heard
horrible.
it's improved.
I had forgotten you can just hold X and the horse will stay on the trail. I was like, oh, thank God. So I just
Yeah.
hold X. I'm like, because like trying to, it's worse than Red Dead 2, and that's saying something because that horse is stupid.
Yeah.
So I went on for a while. I apologize, but it was a big break we had. But yeah, Witcher 3 is. I'm excited. So after this, I'm going to be stupid. I'm going to dive right into Cyberpunk, and I'm going to beat that finally.
I want to play
Nice.
Cyberpunk.
So I'm doing all
Dude,
I'm doing all
mine-
the big games right now.
Mine keeps crashing, and I don't know why.
I
It's
have
the
had
same
Witcher
time.
crash 3 times, which I'm like, this game's 10 years old. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
But
He's like, next up, Star Citizen. Let's go.
but yeah,
Thank you.
now my voice hurts.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, Thomas.
Is it me or who else is next?
It's either me or you.
Joseph.
So
Yeah, Jonah had the 2 movies.
Mhm.
Real fast, Michael, did you start Mob Psycho season 3 or just
I have
finished 2?
Started 3, I think.
Okay.
okay, so there
Turbo
is
Granny was in
3.
Mob Psycho 2. Do you guys remember that? They have a ghost they go
Oh.
after. They call it Speedo Grand or something like that. And I was like, that's Turbo Granny. What
I
is
saw
going on?
a video where they did like all the references from
Yeah.
Dan to Dan, and yeah, that was on.
I was like, huh.
Go ahead, Joseph. You're good.
Okay. watched a movie called Amber
Really?
Alert with my mom and dad, and it's very
yeah.
much a mom and dad movie. It feels like something you'd watch like on CBS or something like that. Basically, though, the premise is like this lady's in a ride share, and then they see an Amber Alert, and they're like, "Oh, dude, that's the car. That's the Amber Alert." So they go and like chase it and follow it around. So pretty
We
much
gotta
what
save
you
the
would-
babies.
Yeah.
pretty much what you would expect from kind of a mom and dad movie. It's over on Hulu. Checked out while I was in Lubbock. Checked out Skeleton Crew.
Mm.
Wasn't expecting anything from this show. It's not bad. It's just like a
Mhm.
kid show, a kid Star Wars show. If I was a kid and I like Star Wars, I'd love this show. Jude Law is pretty good in it. He's a very interesting character. He's a pirate, but he also has the Force, so you don't know what's going on with him. It's just a funny little show with an elephant man.
It's literally just like Goonies in space.
yeah.
You're just distracted by that elephant kid.
Yeah, the elephant kid's pretty cute. So, then I watched It's in the Game, which is a documentary about the Madden games over on Amazon. I like when they focus more on the old stuff, but they love going to the new stuff, and I don't really care for it. It was weird because they're like, "Oh yeah," because they end with like Madden 25, and they're like, "This is a right step." We got a lot of positive reviews, but in reality, you got a lot of mixed reviews. So it's kind of weird that they kind of slanted it towards it being good.
I wanted to watch that, but it was an episode, so I was like, I wish it was just one long movie.
Yeah, it's pretty much any documentary you've seen, though. I wouldn't recommend it necessarily. And then I've been sick, so I watched the whole series of Superman and Lois.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's this last CW superhero show ever, and it feels very much like a CW show, but it is probably the best of the
I've
CW.
heard it's really good.
Yeah, it's good. The one gripe I have is it does the thing that all CW superheroes does, and it acts like having a secret identity is a crime against humanity, and I can't stand that. But they're like Superman, or he like comes out to his sons, and he's like, "I've been Superman the whole time you were born," and they're like, "Oh my, well, you lied to us the whole time.
You're the worst
It's like,
person ever.
yeah, it's so.
What kid wouldn't be like, that's freaking awesome?
I know.
Dude, if my
Normal kids
dad
would
were-
be like, yes.
My dad revealed that, I'd be like, "Oh my god,
When do I get the
Yeah, when do
powers?"
I get powers?"
But the actual like family drama is good. So yeah, it focuses on him and Lois and their two sons, and it was actually pretty good. I don't know.
This is a weird question. Is this a sequel to the original Lois and
No.
Clark one? Okay.
No, it's very
I
much-
loved those because those are great. That was a great show. But okay.
Yeah, it's got some of that CW stuff, but
I do have.
It's
another
not related to
question,
Smallville.
though. Is it? Does it have? I can't think of his name right now. Tom Welling anywhere? No, that was my question.
no,
My question was, how many episodes are per season? Does it still do the obnoxious 23?
no. It's
Okay.
like
They learn.
I think it's like 15 for the first two, and then it goes down to 13 and then
That's not
12. I
bad.
think is
That's
how
not
they
bad.
do it. Yeah.
Were you into Arrow, Michael?
Oh, I loved Arrow
Arrow was
Okay.
great. Flash
Yeah.
was great early on.
until they just
yeah.
Yeah.
tried milking it whenever the cow was bleeding on the floor.
Jeez.
Do you know dads watch this, Jonah?
Yeah, he has.
Yes.
I don't
think
know if he watched all of it. I think he watched the first. I know he watched the first season.
Way to go for the kill with the metaphor, Michael. Jeez.
I know.
No,
Is
I
it
think you're a
wrong?
poor cow.
he-
No, I mean you're not, because that was pretty.
Was there a Felicity character in this?
No. Well,
thank
there
God.
is an annoying
Hey.
characters, but
You know
Shut
what?
up.
She started off good.
there's one character.
the hot Jewish girl, man. Like there's only so many.
that
we
doesn't
can ask
redeem her.
for.
It doesn't redeem her.
She's one of the worst characters in TV history. Lex in this is like Sons of Anarchy Lex. It's weird because he's been in prison for like 10 years. And then when he gets
He's all
out,
tatted up. He's got tats on his head.
Damage
Well,
on his
funny that
forehead.
you say that,
Damage.
but it's Ron Perlman that's in Sons of Anarchy, and
Oh, they're
Didn't
saying
he-
Ron Perlman played Lex. I was like, what?
no, that was
No.
Clancy Brown. I'm sorry.
I mean, this guy might have been on Sons of Anarchy. I don't know it. Don't know the cast that well, but he might have been. One thing, it took a while to get to Lex, which was kind of sad, and it took a while to get to Superboy actually, because you would think. I mean, you could understand Superman not wanting his kid to go like fight villains and stuff, but at least go have him rescue people because that's pretty easy to do for a Superboy. But they don't want him to do that during the whole series. So that is all I had. Pretty sure, Thomas.
Bunch of random stuff because kind of just watched stuff that I was either on the plane or trying to stay awake or because I was sick or all kinds of crap. So I got into this YouTuber called Eddie Burback.
Do you watch the Rainforest Cafe?
Yes, it's that existential dread that dude has. But the thing is, though, then I watched like the other guy, Ted Navision, and he's having the time of his life. Like I love my life. I love the Rainforest Cafe, and then you can see like the side profile of Eddie, just like wondering if he should even be alive at this point in time in his life. But it's so good. And I watched like a ton of his videos. He did like the terrible Shark Week ones, the Timmy the Tooth videos, the metaverse and how it's like creepy and weird, and also so is Mark Zuckerberg. He's not wrong. And then I'm trying to think of what else I just a bunch of random stuff. I watched a lot of anime just because I wanted to. I think I texted Jared like, did you know Crunchyroll doesn't work in Japan? You have to use a VPN. So, which I think is like the biggest irony I've ever encountered in my life.
Well, it was for getting anime to America.
Yeah, I know, but you'd think that they would just allow it, but I guess not. But I watched Dan. That was crazy. And again, the end on that, really? Like, they didn't seem like an ending episode, but whatever. And then I did that one. I watched I was banished from the heroes party, but now I live in a quiet life in the countryside. That's the whole name. It's an odd title. And then I rewatched My Dress Up Darling because that was just so charming. It's such a charming show. Trying to think of what else I watched. I think that's all I watched for the for anime. Movies, I watched Moneyball and The Rainmaker on my flight to Japan. It's because I had them downloaded on my phone. I didn't know I had them downloaded, so I was like, oh, that'll work. Don't have to use up my Wi-Fi. And then I did also watch a ton of Super Eye Patch Wolf videos because Jared told me about the newest one that he did about the Jake Paul fight, which I kind of totally agree with because it's just sad, honestly. And Jake Paul is not the most honest person, but we all knew that. So it's just, yeah, kind of sad. But then what's the, I forgot the one that is about the wrestler. I know that's not very specific, Jared.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. Thank you. The Rock's cousin. That was a great video. That was a fantastic video. And I know I say this every time I watch a Super Eye Patch Wolf wrestling video, but I really kind of want to try to get into WWE.
Every time. But every time I start, I'm like,
I will stop.
But that's the thing. Is like then I start watching and I'm like, this isn't good. This is not good.
I want to get hooked like they do because
I
when
know.
they get hooked, they're like,
But that's the thing is what I want to do is get hooked because there's so much to watch. And I've heard it's good. I'm just like, but it's really not good, like at all. And so, yeah, just tried watching that. Honestly, I don't know what else I did because I've been trying to get better and I've been kind of sick. So it's just been whatever is in my head. So I think that's about it. Oh, and I've been playing Chrono Trigger on here. That's been fun. So
Real
The
fast, I
best
forgot to
Final
mention.
Fantasy.
I won't go into it. I watched like 5 hours worth of Boy Meets World reviews and like retrospectives. I don't know why, but one night, one guy had
What
a
are you,
video
Ben?
that was like that had 2 hours on it. Another guy had 2 hours on it. And I was
Oh my
like, I got
God.
into it.
That sounds
man.
awful.
Topanga was hot. All right, I'm just saying. Like,
Oh, man.
Topanga.
I did forget I rewatched Tintin, which I mentioned to you guys. Cannot,
yeah.
cannot
Tintin.
believe how good that movie looks.
The best credits, man.
Cannot-
Opening credits. I love that.
Yeah. That movie is unbelievable looking. I'm like, whoa, yeah.
who plays Tintin?
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell, yeah.
Oh,
Which he needs to be
Where
in
do you
more
know?
stuff, man. I love Jamie Bell so
Yeah.
much. He's so good.
That's a series that never happened. That should.
Never got that sequel.
They were gonna have Peter Jackson,
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro do it. Jeez.
he got distracted.
Yeah. All right. Any last things?
Nope.
Anything to look forward to this year?
Anime.
What's the first
Anime?
movie you guys are looking forward to? Do you know?
I don't even know anymore. To be honest with you.
Movies? I have
Jonah,
no
what's
idea.
coming out pretty soon?
Yeah, help us out, John.
I don't know. We need a list.
There's got to be something good, right?
February.
There's got to
Yeah.
be one good movie out there. Batman's pushed to like 3 years from now.
There's a lot this year though, but
There-
Yeah.
What is with that movie?
no
like
idea.
that movie series specifically that gets pushed back so far.
I don't know. If
It's
From
they-
what I've heard, it's because James Gunn wants to get his Batman out first
Oh,
before they
interesting.
do another.
I thought they were like going off of the Penguin success and want to do more shows first.
You would think,
Yeah.
but
Interesting.
I just remember when the first one
Superman.
happened.
Oh,
We got
there
that.
was that
Superman.
news about the new Jurassic Park being like rated R or something like that. It's supposed to be like
Oh, my.
scary.
they always say that though.
I did reread that book actually when I was in
Jurassic Park.
there was news.
It's a horror book.
Oh.
Like it is a straight up horror
I
book.
want to. I want to listen to that. There was news from the whether you want to hear it or not from the Mass Effect team teasing the game. And I'm just like, I don't know what to believe anymore.
I know.
Well, if it's the same people at Veilguard, I'm just like, yeah, no.
The
What do you got,
first,
Jonah?
the first one is Wolfman.
I haven't seen it
Then-
before that. But
I mean, it doesn't look bad.
February is Captain America.
that's still coming out. They didn't push it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It could be good.
Didn't they just have to reshoot again though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have to redo
Jeez.
something.
People hated the movie so much.
How much money? I want. How much money
Dude,
has
that
gone into
movie's got to
movie?
be so expensive.
Yeah.
It won't make the money back no matter what at this point.
Yeah,
I
make that
mean-
money.
And then
For now.
Mickey 17 in March.
Yeah,
That looks pretty
Mickey,
good.
That looks
that
good,
does
right?
look good.
that's great.
All
I'm trying
right.
to
So
think
those are the
anything
first
else
few
to-
movies. Have you guys seen poor Jay Leno? Like, what's up with him getting beat up and stuff?
I did see like fell or something.
He
What
fell
happened
down
to
a
him?
hill.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
looked
fell down a
bad.
hill. He was by a hotel or something like that. and it was
Jesus,
like,
poor Jay.
And he's not young, so I mean, it
No.
took him out. But
and then he exploded earlier, like in one of his shops, one
What?
of his,
What does
one of
that
his
mean?
garage. You know, he has a bunch of cars.
Yeah.
There was like a freak accident in this
Oh my
garage, like blew
gosh.
up on him. or
Good
something.
lord.
We need to start doing some digging into this. Who's after Jay Leno?
Yeah.
See some dude just shove him off the hill.
They're putting some
This is David
security on that guy.
I'm not going to get into conspiracies right now because there's so many going around.
So we hit anime and movies. What games are we looking forward to?
I have no idea.
I have
I know.
this idea of
Death Stranding 2.
True.
It's like the only one I'm really hyped about, to be honest with you.
I'm interested in Monster Hunter Wilds if it's actually open world because I want it to be actually.
Dude, I tried getting into Monster Hunter, and then when I did get into Monster Hunter is when everybody was getting out of Monster
Yeah.
Hunter. And so I was like, thanks, guys. I got this game that you guys all recommended for, and then nobody wants to play it now. It's like, great.
that always happens.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Yeah.
be him with Pokemon. He's gonna be.
Dude.
I got a Celebi.
Guys, I downloaded the trading card game.
Nope.
Yeah.
Will never be me.
Yeah, I don't know what games. coming out this year.
Okay, we got Dynasty Warriors, we got
There's so
Kingdom
many
Come Deliverance 2, which the first one was like incredibly hard and I could never get anywhere in it. Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh, that Like a Dragon game looks good. The one where you're like a pirate.
Oh yeah.
What's
Split
the other one?
Fiction. I don't know what
Split
Split
Fiction. That's the
Fiction
guy
is.
that did It Takes Two.
Tales of the Shire.
Why
Atom Fall.
I don't know.
of these games.
First Berserker Kazan. There's something out there.
We're the
Fatal
worst pop
Fury.
culture podcast out there.
Yeah, we need
What's coming out? I don't know.
We need a
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
we need Switch Showcase has got to be soon, right?
It's gotta be.
That's got to be like within the next month or two.
The Switch is still the
Switch 2.
platform.
Yeah,
Switch 2.
It's supposed to be announced like uber soon, unless they wait for fall to release and do something.
They better not. I swear to.
Pokemon
it's like, why would
Legends
you?
ZA, George.
Yeah.
Everyone's
are fun.
I guess the big one is Grand Theft Auto 6.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be ridiculous, man.
That's like that's like the biggest series, but I don't really.
They still
Dude.
haven't confirmed if there's a release date for this year.
They literally didn't make that a national holiday because no one's going to work. Like literally, no one is going.
That
to
would be
work.
hilarious. Ghost of Yotai.
Ooh, heck yes.
Fable.
Is that
Fable's coming back?
The Fable act, dude. It looks like from the little
I
we've
don't-
seen, it looks
I'm
so
not-
good,
I'm not putting hope in it.
dude.
Is it still what's his name doing those?
No, well, Peter, whatever his name is.
Molyneux?
Peter.
Yeah, I think so.
I have no idea.
The
Doom
thing
the
is-
Dark Ages.
Oh, and did you say Doom? Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks so good.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
That looks so good.
There's that Cap game. It's like Marvel
That looks
1943.
so good too.
Borderlands 4.
Wolverine's supposed to, I think, come out this year.
Skate 4, maybe.
Believe that when I see it.
Crazy Taxi. Dune Awakening. That looked pretty good, right?
MMO. You have to
Yeah.
fight Ben to get off that.
Fight him.
For some reason, that's just one thing Ben dove into was Dune. He loved Dune. Like, why?
Elden Ring Night and Rain.
Yeah, I wish I was more excited for
Yeah.
that, but
Mafia the Old Country. Outer Worlds 2. Hopefully they can make a complete game. Looks like that's about it.
Mm.
The Wolf Among Us 2.
Yeah, I'll
that's
believe
finally
that.
coming out. Oh my god.
I'm not.
Alright.
I'm not. I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Yeah.
They said like, you know what? We're making it. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, what a weird ride Telltale was.
Just
Dude,
like
they were
Silk
like
Song.
Weird time,
exploded with everything.
Weird
and then-
time.
And then they're gone.
Yeah, just like burning. Like that poor cow bleeding.
That cow.
Bleeding.
Then
out
they
the
set it on
floor.
fire.
All right, so
Very
we
good.
are good to go, I think. Any last words? Like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more good stuff to come, and we will see you next time. Bye.